Breaking news this past Sunday, September 7th, 2025, at 5:30 p.m., 34-year-old Hilda Vasquez, the mother of 12-year-old Brian Vasquez, was arrested in connection with her son's death. However, this is not the first time Hilda has been accused of harming 12-year-old Brian Vasquez. He was taken out of the house when he was 3 months old after being harmed by his mother. But why did CPS feel the need to give Brian back to his mother? Let's find out right now. Wednesday, my Cajun cuties. Yes, it's me, Anne Marie, aka the Cajun Crime Queen from Carrincre, Louisiana. Cajun born, Cajun bred, and when I die, I'll be Cajun dead. I hope after this video that you like, subscribe, and comment, and don't forget to press notification bell so you never miss a video from me, Anne Marie. I hope you have a beverage. I hope you have a snuggle porter or a snuggle fur porter. Those are the best, and you're ready to hear a true crime story with yours truly. And as always, I want to know: are y'all drinking that water? Are y'all staying hydrated? Are y'all getting those tickers up? Remember, just a quick 20-30 minute walk, especially first thing in the morning, get those endorphins up, and you are going to have an amazing, wonderful day, I promise you. And as always, thank you all for joining me on this wicked Wednesday evening as we discuss another true case. As you know, for the past couple of weeks, I have been discussing the Brian Vasquez case. And tonight, we are going to discuss new details as well as a timeline on what may have happened to 12-year-old special needs little boy, Brian Vasquez. As y'all all know, Brian Vasquez disappeared from his home on August 14th, 2025. However, sadly, just 12 days later, on August 26, 2025, Brian was found floating in a lagoon near his home. Cause of death was drowning and blunt force trauma due to an alligator attack. This case is absolutely heartbreaking. Every time I think about this case, it brings me to tears to know that this precious, sweet, loving little boy was attacked by alligators. It's just heartbreaking. It is absolutely heartbreaking. However, before we get into the details, I just want to share with y'all that an arrest has been made in the Brian Vasquez case. And they arrested 34-year-old Hilda Vasquez, the mother of 12-year-old Brian Vasquez. They charged her with second-degree cruelty to juveniles and negligent homicide. And get this, y'all, this isn't Hilda's first time being accused of hurting little Brian Vasquez. Back in 2013, when Brian was only 3 months old, Hilda is accused of a skull fracture, broken legs, and a collapsed lung involving her 3-month-old son, Brian Vasquez. At this time, little Brian was taken out of his home. However, at some point, Brian was returned back to his mother as well as his home. It was reported that Brian had lack of supervision and neglect from his mother. Brian was 12 years old, he was nonverbal, and he was on the autistic spectrum. Now, what I want to know is probably what y'all all want to know. Why was little Brian returned to his home if his mother did in fact commit this crime? If Brian had a skull fracture, broken legs, collapsed lung, this is huge. This is a 3-month-old baby, a baby. And it was said she committed this crime. So why did CPS return little Brian back to his mother is what I want to know. On August 1st, 2025, little 12-year-old Brian Vasquez escaped from his home. He wanted to go play in the nearby playground near his home. The police were called. Everyone was looking for Brian. Everyone was in a panic. He was found later that evening, completely nude, drinking water out of a drainage ditch. On August 4th, about 10 days before he disappeared, Brian's mother, Hilda, was sleeping in the living room when she heard a knock at her door. It was the neighbor. He was saying that he found little Brian wandering around and returned him home. On August 5th, 2025, Brian and his family moved to a new home, and Hilda said that she hadn't had time to take the right safety precautions. She didn't have time to install an alarm system. She was busy with the move, and she didn't take all the safety measures to protect Brian Vasquez. Now, I don't know what was going on with Hilda Vasquez, why she didn't take all the safety measures, why she didn't install an alarm system. I don't know what was going on. I do know that Hilda had 3 other children in the home. She had an 11-year-old daughter, a 6-year-old son, and a brand new newborn baby. And y'all know how it is when y'all have a newborn baby. You don't even know what day it is. You don't even know if y'all brush your teeth that morning. It's a crazy time when you have a brand new newborn. Hilda says on August 13th, 2025, the day before Brian disappeared, she gave Brian a melatonin around 8 p.m. that night, which is a sleep aid. She said Brian did have sleeping issues, that he wasn't on a sleep schedule, and he was all over the place when it came to sleep. She said 7 hours later, around 3 a.m., she heard Brian in the kitchen looking for food. She says she got up and she guided Brian back to his 11-year-old sister's room and put him to bed. Just 3.5 hours later, at 6:33 a.m., surveillance footage shows Brian completely nude, walking around the streets near a body of water, striking his head and speaking incoherently. It was also said, according to surveillance, that several cars were passing by. Now, I'm gonna stop right there. I don't know about y'all, but if I saw a child at 6:30 in the morning walking around the streets completely nude, I would stop so fast that smoke would be coming out of my tires. There is no way I would keep going. I would stop my vehicle. I would get out of my car. I would try to speak to the child. I would call police. I would try to ask neighbors, hey, do y'all know who this child's for, so I can bring him back to his home? I would not just keep driving. There is no way possible I would ever allow that to happen. However, it was said that cars were passing him by. I don't know if somebody stopped. I don't know the situation, but if someone did stop, maybe they could have saved little Brian. I don't know the whole situation. Around 7:50 a.m., Hilda says that she left to go bring her 6-year-old little boy to school along with her newborn baby. She said she did leave her 11-year-old daughter and 12-year-old Brian Vasquez sleeping in the home. She says she assumed they were sleeping as the door was still closed. She had no clue that Brian had escaped the home. She thought since the door was closed, Brian, as well as little sister, was still asleep. She did leave them alone and unsupervised. Around 10 a.m. on August 14th, 2025, Brian's 11-year-old little sister notifies his mother that Brian is not in the room, that Brian is missing. Hilda goes into a panic. She calls the police at 10:20 a.m. and she notifies the police that her 12-year-old son is missing. And get this, police didn't arrive at the home until 3:06 p.m. Yes, a 5-hour window. 5 hours, no one was looking for this precious little boy. The police dropped the ball. What a shame on the police. That is horrible. That is just disgusting. And I'm not even going to get started because I'm going to go on a rant. And y'all, we're going to be here till next week if I tell y'all how upset I am with the police that they did not respond for 5 hours. This was a missing child. And sadly, 12 days later, on August 26, 2025, the Cajun Navy found the lifeless body of 12-year-old Brian Vasquez. He was floating in a lagoon near his home. Cause of death was drowning due to blunt force trauma involving an alligator attack. And on September 7th, 2025, this past Sunday, 34-year-old Hilda Vasquez was arrested in connection with 12-year-old Brian Vasquez's death. Police believe that Hilda did not take the right measures to keep Brian safe, to keep him in the home. Police also said that it was reported that there was abuse and neglect involving Brian Vasquez for the past 12 years of his life. How sad and how heartbreaking is this entire situation? This is, I have no words to think what happened to this little precious boy. My heart breaks for the family. It absolutely breaks. And there are so many details that we don't know. that we haven't been told, but I will keep y'all up to date on all the details. I am following this case so close because this case is in my heart and I think about it every day. And I want this little boy to rest in peace. And my prayers and my thoughts go up to his family as well as his friends, the whole entire community of New Orleans. This whole neighborhood came together to look for 12-year-old little Brian Vasquez, and the Cajun Navy found him, and he has been put to rest. My final thought, I always give y'all my final thought, and my final thought is, please hug your children a little tighter tonight. Please give them lots of kisses. Please hold them dear. Please tell them how much you love them, because you never know when something like this could happen. Our children, the most important thing in our life, can be taken from us in a flash like that. And my heart breaks for Brian Vasquez's family. And we must all take the right safety precautions when it comes to our children. As you all know, whenever a baby starts walking, we install the gates and the little electric plugs. We do whatever we can to keep them safe. So y'all keep doing that. Please, any type of safety precautions y'all make to keep your children safe. My heart and my prayers go up to Brian's family, and I will keep you all up to date on this case. If any new details emerge, I will let y'all know. Y'all will be the first to hear about it, I promise y'all. I hope after this video that y'all like, subscribe, and comment. And don't forget to press notification bell so you never miss a video from me, Anne Marie. And as always, stay safe, always be aware of your surroundings, and always know that I'm here for each and every one of y'all. I will see y'all tomorrow night with another video. And as always, thank you. And for you, I am truly grateful. I love y'all, and I hope y'all have a good night. Bye.